Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And it's good to be here with you again.
It is, my friend. It's always good to be in your presence.
Thank you, and likewise.
Thank you so much.
We have a great show today.
Yes, we have a young man who is a product of Indianapolis, has been working with IMPD for 35 years. I'm not going to talk about what fraternity he's connected to, but he has done a great work for over 30 years with Talking Heads. Been doing a great job with it, bringing in speakers to lift the consciousness of Indianapolis.
And some great speakers over the years.
Yes.
Recently, Kirk Franklin.
Yes, I happened to kind of be there that night.
Yeah.
And he done a great job talking to the young people and talking to parents as well. And I think it's all because of what Matt Stewart has done over the years by accumulating a reputation for celebrities to want to be a part of what we do here in Indianapolis with the Speaker Series.
And you never know which speaker is going to dramatically change your life.
Right.
It can be a defining moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Something that's said during the
Can
series.
turn your whole life around, put it in a positive direction.
Yeah, and we want to thank you for joining us today, as you do each week at 5:30 on Sundays and on Wednesday nights at 11 o'clock p.m. Please continue to watch this show. Also, you can go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel there, WHMB TV 40, and you can watch this show and others that you might have missed. I think people are going to really be uplifted by what we have today.
I think they will. I think he's going to give us some good information. And he's going to introduce people, since we're talking to Central Indiana, 1.3 million people, to this speaker series, and hopefully some people will become a part of it and join what he's doing.
So don't go away. We'll be back after this. Well, welcome back to Real People, Real Voices, and we have an esteemed guest on today, Matthew Stewart. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, pastors.
You're welcome. A beautiful brochure here, and I've always admired this since I had it a few weeks ago, and it kind of tells the story to some degree, and you can kind of share with us, take us back when it was probably nice, but not as nice as this. There's a beginning to everything.
Absolutely. So the Stewart Speakers started some 32 years ago, this coming November. And when we first started, no, the brochure wasn't a glossy slick over. It was I think just a single sheet of paper.
Out of the church secretary's office.
Out of the church, you're absolutely right. You're finally caught up with me. But yeah, so much of what we did was a result of being a student down at Indiana University Bloomington campus. And we were involved with a group called Union Board, and Union Board was responsible for bringing all of the programming to the campus. And so one of the things that we would do is run off copies on the machine and circulate that around campus to help get the word out. You know, the internet wasn't as prominent as it is now, and so we had to do what we had to do to get the information out.
Yeah, and that's of course with social media.
Yes.
All of the different outlets now. It makes it a little bit easier.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we have spent a lot of time over the last 3 decades trying to home in on the speaker series and how to best market it and just how to introduce it to the greater Indianapolis community, so that we can bring in nationally known speakers anywhere from Harry Belafonte to the late Ed Bradley from 60 Minutes to Diana Carroll to Hill Harper to Steve Harvey, Viola Davis, Kirk Franklin, Eric Holder. So the list goes on. And over the last 3 decades, some 105 national speakers have come to Indianapolis to share and dialogue with our community.
Yeah, wow. Doing a tremendous job with that. And I see in the past few years the youth aspect of it.
Yes.
And I think that's how you keep Stewart Speaker Series alive. The more and more you can introduce young people
Yes.
to what's happening, the more
Yes.
and more they might take a hold of what's really going on and carry it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I hasten to add that in order for anything, you know, the water company has a slogan that everything that grows needs water. Well, everything that grows needs young people. Somebody that is here to hear the information, but also is to carry that legacy forward. And so, you know, I want to, you know, say now that I'm grateful to Olivet Missionary Baptist Church and obviously U.S. Customs for the help in undergirding that speaker series and making it what it is today. And Pastor Jackson reaching out to us and bringing us on different venues to make sure that the word gets out to the Indianapolis.
And I also want to commend your daughter.
Yes, yes.
She's the executive.
She's the chair of the board.
Yeah, she's the chair of the board.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Outstanding.
yes. Yeah. So,
Young lady.
Yes, yeah. Kimberly Bostick. She works for United Way. Used to be with United Negro College Fund, but just recently transitioned about a little over a year ago to United Way. But has been a phenomenal help to the speaker series and propelling it into the new century that we're in and the new technology and just the different connections that she has. So it's been a phenomenal piece having her on board.
Yeah. And, you know, Dr. Tom Benjamin, he always says, as you get older, your life is impacted by the books you read and the people you meet. And certainly you've met quite a few people with the different speakers that have
Yes.
come and, of course, people who actually come to the programs. So what are some of the top benefits of having the Stewart Speaker Series?
Yeah, so some of the top benefits are the lives that are touched, that are reached. Just recently we had Kurt Franklin, for example, and I went to ran into a teacher retired teacher who had been to the program, and when I was at her house, I went to drop off some more brochures. I asked her, "What did you think about Kurt Franklin?" And she almost broke down in tears. She said, "Matt, his story in a lot of respects was my story." And she sat there and she talked about the impact that it had and how she had gone out telling others about the speaker series. And so you know when something has resonated, when something has made a difference in a person's life. And even though she's retired, it is somebody that felt the need to express that not only to people that she knew, but also to younger people. We've also had the opportunity, we had Dr. Mae Jemerson, the astronaut. She was able to bring 2 students back to Texas to help do internships there over the summer after she had been here. So when you see the opportunity where young people, where adults, where people are benefiting and that there's growth in this community from the speaker series, that's really what makes a difference.
Yeah, it's tremendous.
Yeah. Tell us about your trips that you're going to have here soon.
Yeah, so Stewart Speaker Series is primarily known for being a lecture series organization where it brings in these national speakers, but we also do a couple of other things that I think is important to the community. One of those things is a summer road trip. So we take a bus load to various key places from a cultural perspective, and we just try to make sure that we have a lot of fun in the summer. So we've been to Washington, D.C., for the opening of the African American Smithsonian Institute. We just recently, we've also been to Washington, D.C. for the Million Man March. We've also been to Atlanta, Georgia. We've been to a number of different places. So this year, we are going to Detroit, Michigan, visit Motown and the Underground Railroad. And of course, we know that the Underground Railroad went over into Canada. And so we're going to Detroit, and then from Detroit over into Canada this summer. So it's always a fun trip. We have fun on the bus. In fact, even though I've been married to my wife some 24 years, almost 25 years this year, I didn't realize that I had a little bit more to learn about the kind of cooking that I enjoy at home. So we play games on that bus, we match up in couples, and we do things that it helps you really find out more about who you are and who the other members are that come to the speaker series. So it's very enjoyable. We have lots of fun, and we would invite all those who are interested in coming on that bus tour with us. We're at stewartspeakers.org, stewartspeakers.org, or our telephone number 317-297-2905. And we would certainly love to have you on board with us.
Thank you.
All right, we want you to stay with us. We have more to come with regard to the Stewart Speaker Series, so don't go away. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
And I'm Pastor Wayne Moore, his co-host.
And our esteemed guest, Mr. Matthew Stewart. I've enjoyed listening to all that you have with regard to the history of the Stewart Speaker Series. How can people become sponsors?
Well, that's a good question, and thank you very much for asking. Sponsorship, we have one title sponsor each year, and for the last 4 years, IUPUI has been our title sponsor for the Speaker Series, and we're most grateful for that. But we wouldn't be able to do it without them and the other speakers. And again, the next level of sponsorship has been the Lilly Endowment, and then U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And so they have really been there for us. Other sponsors include Citizens Energy Group, the Marion County Public Health Department, and a number of churches, Olivet Missionary Baptist Church, New Era Baptist Church, and I think there's going to be some other churches coming on board pretty soon. And then, my church, New Liberty Missionary Baptist Church. So we're just thankful, but we're always looking for more churches to be involved, more sponsors to be involved. That way we can make sure that our speakers reach young people. They go to schools, they go to church groups, they go to areas that will help draw in young people. And we know the other hat that I wear is that I'm a police officer for the city of Indianapolis. And so we know that if we don't engage our young people, that there's going to be a group out there that is going to engage them in not so much positive ways. And so we try to make sure, because a lot of our speakers have come from difficult backgrounds. And I used to like to mention Dr. Ben Carson a lot. Now, not so much, except to say
Brother
that
Stewart.
Well, that's probably another show.
that he started from humble beginnings and Cabrini Greens and growing up in a housing company. But the sky is the limit in terms of where you can go if you apply yourself and you commit yourself to study and to God, to make sure that there is somebody that's higher than you are, that it's not you that has made you what you are. And so these speakers that come, they engage young people, they engage the adult community, they let us see in very real terms that you can be the best that you can be, and that sometimes you start, not at an A level or B level or even a C level. Sometimes you start so below that level, but it's not where you start, it's where you end up.
Yeah, that makes me think of Tom Brady. He was not a first-round draft pick.
No, he wasn't.
And in fact, I don't think he was a second-round draft pick.
No.
And he got his opportunity when the starting quarterback got hurt.
Yes.
And he has made tremendous history. So to your point, you may not start out under the best of
Yes.
all circumstances, but you can have a wonderful finish.
Yes, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And then, two, the other piece that I'm reminded of, one of our other speakers, Dr. Marion Wright Edelman of the Children's Defense Fund, used to talk about service, and that service is the rent we pay for living on this earth. And so we all have a responsibility to give back, to do, prepare for that next generation that's coming. Dr. King talked about it a lot. He used to talk about the fact that at his funeral, he didn't want folk to talk about all the awards that he's won, that all the accolades that he, but that he tried, Dr. King tried to live his life helping others and serving others. And so even on April 4th, at his death, that's what he was doing in Memphis, is out there trying to assist the sanitation workers. So that's really what the speaker series tries to do, is to try to make a difference where we can by providing a service to the community, and particularly the young people.
And speaking of service, as you've indicated, you served IMPD and on IMPD,
Yes.
the city of Indianapolis, for a number of years.
Yes.
And you smile when we talk about it, so you've done a great job. Is this something, the Stewart Speaker Series, because oftentimes you ask people, well, what will you do after you retire?
Right.
And you may be coming up on that.
Yes.
Is this something that you'll expand and it'll even be bigger than it is now?
Well, absolutely. We certainly hope to expand that. Again, that will give us a time to branch it out a little bit, to make sure that we're covering some other areas. We would like to do a little bit more of intentionally convening small groups, not the massive groups where a lot of times there's a lot of talk going on, but not a lot of work. So we're interested in convening small groups, think tanks, where we are really kind of doing the work that needs to be done to help move the community forward. And sometimes coming off of a background of law enforcement for 3.5 decades, I mean, sometimes that's just the right position to be in to help. And so with the speaker series, those are the kinds of things that we want to begin to do as we look at retirement in the next couple of years. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Another thing, I know your mom.
Yes, absolutely.
Great Christian woman.
Yes.
And I can tell that she's a very stern woman.
Yes, yes.
She really put it down on you kids. Are you open for suggestions?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Does the speaker series have a scholarship program yet?
It does not.
It would be great to put one in your mom's name, because she was a great Christian woman, and how she worked throughout the community. So try to keep her name alive with this particular situation, and try to offer a scholarship or something for a kid to go to school.
Yeah, so, and thank you very much. That's an excellent suggestion, and I think we
Mother was a great woman.
Yes, and Dorothy Stewart, and I remember, in fact, I think that's the first time that I met you was in Central District. I think
Yes,
the
many
District
years ago.
Association was called back then. And it was the association that all our churches at that time belonged to, and so we came together for conventions and usher board and youth conventions, and really, I'm a product of that foundation. So those formative years, Mother made sure that I was there, but it was under your leadership and others who were moderators of the district that helped us to develop into where we are. So yeah, we're certainly.
I would love you to consider that. She needs to be remembered.
Yeah,
and with such an excellent idea, he'll probably write the first check.
I will.
Yeah, well,
I will. We'll do that. We'll make sure we help you with that scholarship, get you started.
Yeah, we appreciate that, and you've done so much, and I'm not just coming on the program. I say it all the time. one of your members and myself, Darlene Sickwick, are good friends.
Yes,
We're down at
she's a
Indiana
great soul.
University. Yeah, together. And so I tell her all the time that, and she knows your outreach to the community. A lot of times it's done on the quiet side. I just remember even dollars given and help given to the Indianapolis Powell Police Athletic League, Powell Club, and all that you guys did there over at the Hill Center. So, you know, it's not, I know it's not oftentimes talked about, but we do remember that, and so we appreciate that effort in our community.
You're welcome.
And we appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
All right. And you too. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Real people, real voices, keep it real.
Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And I'm Faith McKinney, your producer.
Wonderful time with Matthew Stewart, Stewart Speaker Series.
Yes.
And I had asked him about we didn't get a chance to do it on this show, but the symbol here. It's their logo. And two faces.
Talking about right here?
Yeah, two faces kind of talking to each other. And I think that's so important to have more face-to-face conversation.
Yeah, and I think this is what the Speaker Series does. It takes people of all type of backgrounds, gives them an opportunity to come before celebrities. And I've been to several, and these celebrities literally make those persons who attend that particular function like they are very important to them, and that's a unique situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was a vision that Matthew Stewart and his family had years ago. And, you know, who'd have thought that 30 years later, you know, we'd be seeing Steve Harvey and General Colin Powell. And I've been to several of Stewart Speakers events as well. And, you know, not only is Matthew involved, but his whole family, you know, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Shirley and Quintella and Leela and everybody, but it's a family affair, and he is rooted in the church, and his whole family is, and you can tell they're all together, they all support each other, and I think it's beautiful to see, and I think that is the example. You know, it's great to see the celebrities, but to see people actually working together as a family is what we really need to see.
And what I like about it, James, is that he brings celebrities to us, but in his own right, he's a celebrity here in Indianapolis because of what he does for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we need to commend him and his family for doing that, and we need to do all we can to support Speaker Series.
Yeah.
And that he might one day become a sponsor of Real People, Real Voices.
Just as you will be a sponsor
Yes.
of.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's money talking code.
Yeah.
But, you know, I really got excited about the small groups.
Yeah, I did. The
And-
think tanks.
Yeah, or defining moments.
Right.
Because when you have up-close access to people like that, it can really change your life.
And then I like the fact that he's going to look at a scholarship program. That's going to be phenomenal for the community, for young people.
A lot of young people will be able to go to school just off your check.
Yeah, and yours as well, and Faith's as well.
Yeah, we're going to work on that.
But thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, WHMB TV 40. You can watch this show and others that you might have missed.
Right.
And don't forget to join us every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. and on Wednesday nights at 11 o'clock p.m. God bless you.